had some instructors who booked a visit for us. We just went as an interest visit, and it was on that interest visit that we met officers and serving soldiers and pilots, spoke to them about their experiences, and sort of found that we had similar interests, and a career in that area would really suit us.
We did pretty much everything at that age, especially with the cadet force and all that kind of stuff together. Came through at the same time, and then both went to university, and I'm a bit younger, so joined Sandhurst,
2014?
Yeah, 2014, and I joined the year after.
Mum was always being a mum, as mums do, they worry. Dad was very supportive to begin with. He had a bit of a history in the Indian CID and the police force there. But as they sort of saw how well we were doing, going through the system and things we were achieving, they really started to get behind us. We've never had any issues at all to begin with. Family have been very supportive. It's probably been the main thing that's kept us going forward, actually. I think there's lack of role models from the outset. There aren't many, there wasn't anybody who looked like me ahead of me. And like I said, that's something that needs to change. 20, 30 years ago, you probably wouldn't have seen many females within this sector. And now, I've qualified with female pilots alongside me who are now flying frontline types. And I think it's a similar process with the BAME community. It's something that's happening, something that's changing slowly, but it's going to take time and effort from everybody involved.
And that's it. And whenever we do go into our community, as we do, we go into schools, we go into colleges, as much as we can. We go back to our old schools, and they're quite receptive to us because we can tell them, we sat exactly where you were sitting 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, and we've made it here, so you guys can do it as well.
We went through the Army selection process to be officers. On top of that, we went through the Army Air Corps selection process to be pilots. Having passed both of them, that gave us the opportunity to compete for a place at Sandhurst. And having gained that place at Sandhurst, we then went on to actual flying training.
After leaving Sandhurst, joined the Army Air Corps as well, with the same selection process. And after joining, went straight onto the pilot's course, did the fixed wing that you've spoken about, and then went on to rotary training at Shawbury, RAF Shawbury. And I've just finished that, and now I'm holding in Aldershot with Regional Command, waiting to go on to my next course, which is operational training phase, where hopefully I'll get the wings and then go on to fly my frontline type.
I've got one more course before I'm considered as a qualified frontline Apache helicopter pilot. So that's my short-term aim, to complete this course and get to the other end where I'm doing this job on a daily basis. Moving on from there, there are so many different jobs available. As an officer, I can either go for a mainstream job and pick up any sort of job role within the Army as an officer, but I can equally stay in the flying system. I can go and become a test pilot, a qualified helicopter instructor, or just a line pilot where this is my daily job.
The next few years I'll be spending on the pilot's course, finishing up operational training phase, moving on to my frontline type, whatever that may be, and that'll be the chunk of my next sort of 5 years. I'll probably take up about 3 years or so, and then moving on from that, going to my regiment, settling down, and then looking for, as I said, any other secondary roles to pick up, etc. So the next 5 years will be spent flying, hopefully, and then beyond that we'll see what happens.
So the British Army, for me, it's a job like no other. There's nothing that compares to it. No 2 days are the same. Each day you're doing something new or learning something new. And over a period of time, if I look at what I've achieved, I've gone from being a young schoolboy, going through university, not quite sure what he wants to do, and now almost being a qualified Apache attack helicopter pilot. I think that's a massive win for social mobility. The fact you could take somebody from a certain background and bring them to the front of a completely new area is just brilliant. And I think more people should be encouraged to do it.
And the British Army is a home for everybody. It's no matter what background you're from, no matter who you are, they're more than accepting. And I've had fun doing it, and I know you've had fun doing it, and hopefully that continues.